The Hour of Joy, depicted to be a horrific event which forever damned the Poppy Playtime facility. What happened during this event? Why was it so prolific? And was there a reason for this happening, or was it pure coincidence? Before the events of the Hour of Joy, the Poppy Playtime facility was a reputable toy manufacturer. They led in the toy industry, making revolutionary toys which allowed the business to grow into an enormous status. However, underneath all the glee and jolly nature lies a terrifying and disturbing secret. The company had hired the Bigger Bodies initiative, which was led by Harvey Sawyer. With the decline in sales in the early 90s, the company would resort to gruesome and insidious forms of egregious marketing. It would have real toys who can speak, act upon their own will, and this would allow the company to remain afloat. However, to make these toys come to life, the company would resort to human experiments, the experimentation of young kids, practically raising them to eventually have them turned into these massive toy creatures. This was apparent during the early to mid 90s, in which the company would see a return in profits, which to business executives meant more experiments. One of these experiments turned out to be the most successful. Experiment 1006, a revolutionary advancement in the field of transferring humans to toys. A fully sentient creature who possessed extraordinary cognitive abilities. This was Poppy Playtime's successor. However, unknown to the scientist and the Bigger Body initiative, this would backfire horrifically. The months leading to the Hour of Joy, the prototype had already begun to act abnormal. It would often be seen thinking, planning as if it was soon going to unleash its grand plan. However, the scientists weren't fools. They understood the great danger this creature could pose to the company. So they locked the prototype in a cell, with it being monitored 24/7. One day, the camera monitoring the cell deactivated, and alarmed workers would work to fix the problem. When the camera came back online, the prototype couldn't be seen. It was hiding in the camera's blind spot. It was trying to fool the workers into unleashing it. So an inspector was tasked to locate where the prototype had gone, so the door opened and the worker went inside. The prototype acted swiftly, darting toward the door, which caused an emergency lockdown. Fortunately, the workers shut the door, which infuriated the prototype, and in a fit of rage tore the poor inspector into bits. This was an act of rebellion, one which would begin a long-going saga of incidents. A few months before the Hour of Joy, the prototype escaped its confinement, seeking refuge in the underchambers of the facility. This is where it remained, hiding from its makers. Theodore Graham Bell was a young boy who scientists from the Bigger Bodies initiative experimented on. The experiment was to create a mascot for the popular TV show The Smiling Critters. The character Catnap, a small cat whose very premise was to induce gas to make others sleep. The experiment was a success, and Theodore Graham Bell would be turned into a toy. During the experiment, Theodore drew up a picture. In it, we see what looks to be the prototype lurking below Theodore's bed, most likely telling Theodore about its master plan to take revenge on the people who made them, who turned them into monsters. The prototype was smart. Knowing the misconduct these children received, it knew deceiving them would be easy. So the prototype gave this news to most of the toys, with most of them agreeing and some that didn't, to take revenge on the ones who for so long experimented on them, only for financial gain. So it would be this simple act of persuasion in which the prototype had most of its army, with the eventual time to strike soon approaching. At the time, 10:45 AM, Kissy Missy, the most recent experiment of the Bigger Bodies initiative, was being relocated to the playcare via a train. 15 minutes after this, at precisely 11 AM exactly, the prototype had begun its confinement of the facility. First, the upper floor. Huggy Wuggy would spring to life, lashing at the workers beneath it. This caused utter chaos, and the workers immediately began to evacuate. The prototype strategically hit the first floor to sever the communication between the workers, and to achieve this it would take out the people closest to the exit. Next, the game station, where Mummy Longlegs would utterly destroy the workers utilizing her long legs to pile them up, and then dropping the workers from a severe height, leading to their deaths. The smiling critters in the playhouse began to attack the workers, which started the attack on the playcare. Mr. Light toys are seen chasing workers. One of these workers was chased by all 8 toys at once, and the person was cornered into a room. The playcare would be desecrated. With that, the prototype had full control over the facility, however miscalculated the eventual hunger of the toys. Kissy Missy would be in her capsule. Mid-experimentation, the lifeless toy sprang to life and began to attack the scientist. The scientists were not able to fully complete the experiment. This could explain how she isn't fully corrupted by a lust for hunger. Furthermore, it's unclear if she killed the scientists working on her. After this, the main halls are filled with toys, with characters like Boxy Boo awakening and beginning to take out the workers. The lust for food being the only thing present in all of the monsters' minds, making the likelihood of survival very low. Catnap at this point has taken full control of the daycare, opting to slowly patrol and hunt for unsuspecting survivors. Catnap, however, isn't running headlessly like the other toys, but is slowly moving, seemingly having the most important task given by the prototype. The playcare is shut down, and the floors fill with what once were the workers of the facility. A Poppy doll would be locked in her box. This most likely was the prototype, as the one thing it feared was the intelligence the doll possessed. So Poppy was cast away, only to be reawakened when the player opened her box during the events of Chapter 1. Everyone in the facility were killed. Those who survived, like higher-ups like Lieth Pierre, were forced to hide during the massacre. We don't know what happened to these potential survivors. All the corpses of the workers were brought down to the deepest part of the facility to be consumed by the other toys, with the facility permanently closing and the place never being fully investigated due to its industrial location being pulled off the grid. The aftermath of the Hour of Joy saw characters like Dog Day being tortured by Catnap. This was due to Dog Day's disapproval of the incident. In an act of defiance, Dog Day would tell the toys to leave the facility whilst they could. However, with Catnap finding out about this information, Dog Day would be brutally mutilated as punishment. Food sources would eventually dwindle, and this caused the toys to eventually start to eat their own, with the facility becoming a battleground, with only the strongest toys surviving. Eventually, food completely runs out. No more toys were eaten, but instead the remaining toys seek to either remain in the facility or leave it. However, as mentioned by Poppy in Chapter 3, those who attempted to leave were hunted by the prototype. This would send fear through the facility, and those who remained often stayed due to the fear of being killed by the prototype. By the time the player enters the facility, 10 years had passed since the Hour of Joy, which we can say the toys would most likely be starving, giving them all the more reason to hunt and eat us. That is the full history of the Hour of Joy in all its gritty detail. If you have enjoyed this video, then please smash a like. And if you are new here to the channel and if you never want to miss out on a future upload, then please consider subscribing as well. And until next time, take it easy and goodbye.